How you doing, everyone? Welcome back. Well, my most recent video was about that school shooting in at that Catholic school in Minneapolis. Uh, Actually, it was during the Mass that morning. And I told you that I would kind of break things down a little bit, because this particular shooter, apparently transgender individual, which does not matter at all, really. Shooter's dead, good, don't care. And I don't care who it is, right? But of course, we can't politicize anything because, we just had a shooting, but we have to politicize things, right? Let's take, for example, a guy down in Alabama. I want to say he's the lieutenant governor, maybe. I'm not 100% sure on his position. But a guy down in Alabama, a politician, decides that, because this particular shooter was trans, mass shootings are up because we accept trans people in our society now, right? Or because we are more accepting of trans people than we have been. Is that accurate, though? Is it accurate? Nope. Nope. Not accurate. Alright. Who is responsible for the vast majority of mass shootings? The vast majority. And I'm talking over 50%, like 54%. And it's not even close who is next. I think the next demographic, makes up like 12% or something like that, or maybe 15%, somewhere in that area, right? Which the second demographic being black men, right? But the demographic most responsible for mass shootings, and it's not even close, cisgender white men. Cisgender white men. That's people like me. Alright? We are everywhere. But you know what? We, as cisgender white men, we can't be all lumped together like that, right? Well, it's not a white people thing. It's not a white man thing. But anytime some kind of a minority does something, any type of minority, whoever that may be, whether it be black men or a transgender person or, say, a gay woman or whoever, right? Well, that figures that's just what they're like. That's just the way they are. Or, Latinos is a big one, right? Anytime that someone from Latin America commits a crime in this country, well, see, that's proof that they don't belong here. Okay. But yet, we have to be taken as individuals, right? We have to be taken as individuals. Mass shootings are up because acceptance of trans people is up. Because, the most recent shooter was trans. Okay. 54% of mass shootings, like I just said, are committed by cisgender white men. Roughly 30% of the population is cisgender white men. So I would say that we are committing that atrocity at a disproportional rate, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you? Huh? And then, you want to break it down by rates. Well, how much, how many shootings are committed by trans trans people versus how many there are in society? Great. Fair question. Fair question. Here's the answer for you. Trans people make up roughly 1% of the population. Okay? So first of all, their very existence is not a threat to anybody, right? Because they're 1%. Right? But they make up about 1% of the population, and when it comes to mass shootings, they are responsible for about 1/10 of 1%. So, what's that tell you? They're not doing it. For the most part, they are not doing it. Sure, there are a couple examples, a couple high-profile examples. And actually, if I remember correctly, don't quote me on this, but I believe that actually includes trans and non-binary. Not 100% sure on that. But either way, that is a minuscule percentage of the trans population, right? Whereas it's an outsourced percentage of the white male population, right? And most of them are committed by, well, not most as in a majority, but the plurality are committed by men in their 20s. You know, with the smallest demographic, as far as white men are concerned, the smallest age demographic, believe it or not, 18 and 19 years old. That specific time frame, 18, 19 years old, that is the smallest demographic that is committing mass shootings. Followed by your 65 plus. You know, I mean, which is funny because, you know, under 18, if I remember correctly, is the second highest number. But that's not really super relevant at the moment. But mass shootings are up because of trans people, right? Or because we accept trans people. So, what, cisgender white men are killing more people because of trans people? That doesn't make a whole lot of sense now, does it? Let's take a look at mass shootings. Now, based on the information that I was able to find, we've had so far, and keep in mind I am recording this on the 28th of August, and if my count is right, we have had 34 just this month, right? 34 just this month, with only a few days to go in the month. That's assuming the data that I found was accurate. So far, we have had 268 this year through July. That's January through July. That does not include the August numbers. All right? So, we average that out. That's roughly 38 a month, which means that if we go 38 a month for the rest of the year, that'll be 458 for this year. 458. If my math is right, and if my count on if my math is right, that's where we're looking to be. Last year, 2024, we had 586 mass shootings. 586. 596 in 2023. So from 23 to 24, that was a decrease of 10. And then from 22 to 23, we had a decrease of, looks like 99. Pretty significant decrease from 695 down to 596. 695 in 2022 to 596 in 2023. 2021, we had 698. So that's a negligible decrease of 3. 2020, we had 615. Imagine what that number would have been, considering that was the COVID year. Imagine what that number could have been. 2019, we had 441. And in 2018, that's as far back as I was able to find the data for it, we had 323. So yes, the numbers have gone up, and now they're trending down again. But yeah, it's all because we accept trans people, right? There have been, I don't even know how many. But the vast majority are committed by cisgender white men. And yet nobody looks at us as being a problem. Why is that? 30% of the population committing 54% of the mass shootings. But meanwhile, 1% of the population commits 1/10 of 1%. And then you take, you've got your black males. I want to say they make up, black people as a whole, I want to say make up 16% of the population. So let's make that roughly 8%, making responsible for roughly 12 or 13% of the mass shootings, maybe 15 at the most. Latinos make up a larger percentage of the population, but yet a smaller percentage of the mass shootings. So it's not a Latino thing. It's not a black thing. It's not a trans thing. It's not a woman thing. It is overwhelmingly a cisgender white male thing. Overwhelmingly. A disproportionate number. And sure, a disproportionate of black men also are involved, but their numbers are still not even close to white men. So, I don't know. Maybe white guys, white bigots, take a look in the mirror. You want to find out what the problem is? Go into your bathroom and take a look in the mirror. We are the problem. I mean, not all of us, of course, because, well, obviously the vast majority of any demographic isn't going to do something like that. But the vast majority of incidents are, one demographic is responsible for it. And we like to think that we're the majority, but we're not. Anyway, I'll catch y'all next time.